Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a dark vampy look today. Like I said, I'm loving that palette, but that's a conversation for makeup favorites that I'll do in a little bit. What I want to talk about today makes me extremely uncomfortable. It is not something that I am used to talking about. It is not something I am comfortable talking about. I'm going to ask if you are part of the trans community, please comment down below if I do anything incorrect or I misunderstand anything and it is not the way it is supposed to be. I have one transgender friend and I don't have as much knowledge on it as I would like to have when commenting on this, but it needs to be talked about, it needs to be out there, and it needs to be a discussion. And I don't know where to go with this. Let's just jump into it, talk about it, and see how it goes, I guess. Jessica Yaniv. She is being used in my emails, in my instant message, or not instant, I'm old instant message, in my DMs as a weapon of the right wing to dehumanize and lump all transgender and gay people into the same category of a sexual predator. I did not even know who Jessica Yaniv was until people kept posting and reporting and being like, well, look at this person and look at how she's transgender and she's obviously a pedophile, and she's like, they're using her as an example of like the extreme worst case scenario that can happen in the trans community. It's so not common and it's so wrong. And yeah, like I said, I'm extremely uncomfortable. I don't know how this video is gonna go. So like I said, if I do anything wrong or I say anything wrong or something is incorrect, please comment down below. I will fix it in another video. I am doing the best I can here and I am trying to, I don't know, it needs to be talked about because I am an advocate for the LGBTQ community, LGBTQ plus community, and I don't like seeing this. I don't like it being around, and it can't be ignored. Okay, so who is Jessica Yaniv? Jessica Yaniv is a Canadian who is a transgender female, and she is, I don't even know how to describe her. She's insane. First off, I don't agree with like 90% of what comes out of Blaire White's mouth, but I respect her intelligence. And I respect her for what she's done for this. And I also am not okay with the fact that Jessica Yaniv doxed her for standing up to her. And Jessica Yaniv has a history of trying to silence her critics. And that's not even my biggest problem with Jessica Yaniv. The first time I heard about her was when someone messaged me and said that, well, what do you think about this? This is a trans person trying to force women to wax their genitals that are not female. Like having a female anesthetician, I think is what it's called, wax her penis and balls. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I mean, that's just, and then taking them to the Human Tribunal Court in Canada. And I'm just like, what? That doesn't sound right. So I had to go look it up. And sure enough, Jessica Yaniv is trying to force women to wax her genitals. Now, I am all about treating people equally and treating people fairly, so this goes both ways. If someone is uncomfortable waxing my hoo-ha or whatever genitals I tend to have, they should not be forced to do that. Just like I should not be forced to wax someone else's genitals. If you're uncomfortable with someone's genitals, you should not be forced to wax them in any way, shape, or form. I would be incredibly uncomfortable waxing a guy's genitals. I just would. I would be more comfortable with waxing female genitals than I would a male genital. So if a transgender woman came in and I am a waxer, I would be like, I'm sorry, but I'm just not comfortable touching male genitalia. And I think that every person has that right to not have to touch someone else's genitalia that makes them uncomfortable. And it's got to be more than what she's making it out to be. It seems like it's a power and control kind of thing. Like she's getting off on making these people uncomfortable and then being able to file with the Human Rights Tribunal, because she's picking women that she has a racial problem with. You have to, if you watch the debate between her and Blaire White, which I did when I was doing research for this video, she made it more than abundantly clear that it was more of a race thing than it was a gender identity issue. She was trying to make them uncomfortable. She was trying to get them put out of business. And that's what she's done. She's taken away people's livelihood over something that is racist. She's being racist. And she's using the trans community to do it. And that's not even the worst of what she's doing in the trans community. We'll get into the worst parts of it here in just a little bit. But she's using the trans community to degrade, humiliate, and take away the livelihood of an entire group of people she doesn't like. And that's disgusting. And the fact that she's getting away with it and that she's being able to take this to the tribunal makes me extremely angry. Because no one, and I mean absolutely no one, should be forced to touch the genitals of someone that they're uncomfortable with. That is branching from their rights into your rights. And I don't understand how this is an actual issue. I really don't. You should not be forced to touch someone else's genitalia. It's a basic, simple no. So that was the first time I heard Jessica Yaniv when they were like, look at how far they're willing to push it. I guarantee you that is not common. Every video that I have watched, and I have gone looking for transgendered women to see what they have to say on the subject, because I don't have that issue, so I can't speak on it. So I needed someone else's opinion. So I went looking. And when I went looking, I heard a common thing over and over and over again, that they would be incredibly uncomfortable with someone touching their genitalia as it is because they're uncomfortable with it. They have gender dysphoria and they are uncomfortable. So this is clearly her taking advantage of the system. There are quite a few people that are saying that she's actually not transgender. She's using it to get away with stuff. And it gets so much worse. So I covered the least creepy part first. Now we're going to jump into the part that makes me the angriest, that makes me cringe the most, that needs to be called out, and she should be in jail. Okay, so in 2011, there were a bunch of screenshots of her talking to like 14, 15-year-old girls. And this time, Jessica Yaniv would have been about, from what I understand, 27, which makes her a fully grown adult talking to a 14-year-old child. And we all know how I feel about it. When you are in a fully grown adult trying to prey on a 14-year-old child of any sort, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind. I'm gonna get mad. And she sends these, they start off innocent, and then she starts sending these explicit, sexually explicit things. And she definitely has a fetish for like periods, period blood, pads, tampons. And like there's one conversation where she's talking about, should she help a teenage girl insert? And I mean, no one in their right mind would think that, talking to another girl. No, not even guys would know that you don't insert someone. It's disgusting. And then there are like these horrible, and I'll link some videos down below. I'll have to dig them back out, but I'll link some videos down below where you can actually like see what other people are saying to it. Because there's like, I watched this whole thing where like she was doing this Elmo voice and was saying some of the most like graphic and disgusting things. If I was a 14-year-old, it would totally creep me out. Totally. Hang on, guys. Sorry, guys, I gotta look at something. There was some lipstick, and I just needed to fix that. But, yeah, it's extremely graphic. It's extremely disturbing. And, when people call her out for that, she calls it fake. She calls it a vendetta. And she tries to hide behind the trans community to get away with basically being a sexual predator. And that is not okay. People have been using that to email me to try and change my side on how I feel about the LGBTQ community, because they're like, well, look, this is clearly what everyone's going to do. I want to be very clear about something here. 99.9999999, go, you can just keep going on that, of people in the LGBT community are not predators. People in the trans community are not predators. But she is giving this image that is so detrimental to the trans community that no one wants to talk about it. and everyone's hiding behind it, and when people do talk about it, it gets reported. I'm not entirely sure that YouTube isn't going to take this video down, to be honest. And it's like, are you kidding me? No, everybody should be calling her out as wrong, and everybody should be saying she's not the norm. She is not how trans people normally act. She is hiding behind the trans community. She's giving the trans community a bad name. She's giving people like the NIFB a leg to stand on, which I cannot stand, which is why I'm having to make this video, because when I make an NIFB video, I inevitably get some sort of message about Jessica Yaniv. And she doxed Blaire White. Can you believe that? She doxed Blaire White and tried to pretend like she didn't, and Canada is doing nothing. Why is Canada doing nothing? This person belongs in jail. Not only, and a more recent thing is she tried to host a topless party for like teenage girls where your parents couldn't attend. Can you imagine if someone tried to invite your teenage daughter to a topless party where the only adults are going to be people like Jessica Yaniv? Because I would be like, nope, time to report that to the cops. And more victims are coming out, more screenshots are coming out. And like I said, she definitely has a fetish for like tampons and pads and menstrual blood. I don't know if that's an actual fetish. I didn't want to look it up because it's just a little creepy for me. But yeah. And we need to talk about it. There are videos I will link down below from the trans community that I would like you guys to watch and understand where they are coming from and what they think about this, because it is not normal in the trans community for people to act like this. I'm not even sure. The only reason I'm referring to Jessica Yaniv as Jessica, and I think the other name is Jonathan and not he or her, is because I think it is so important to not misgender someone that I am giving her that out of respect for the rest of the trans community, not for her sake, because I'm not entirely sure she's trans. I think that she is using the trans community to hide behind and be a sexual predator, to attack women that she doesn't like. See, there I went and did something bad. She doesn't like. And then she's using it to prey on children. And she's not caring that she's giving the entire trans community, that she's putting people's lives in danger. 18 trans people in the United States have been murdered this year alone for being trans. And I don't even want to think about the suicide rate of people that are in the LGBT community, that are in the trans community. And she's going to be a constant poster child for the right to continue to sit back and attack the LGBTQ plus community. Got it out finally. And we need to stand up and say that it is not okay, that it is not normal for the trans community, and constantly call out anyone who is like her, because she is doing so much damage to the trans community, so much damage. And I guess that's all I have to say on the subject. Like I said, if I did anything incorrectly, if I'm wrong on anything, please comment down below. This video is not a comfortable video for me to make. I don't like trashing anyone in the trans community. I like to give the benefit of the doubt, but there's just so much evidence that Jessica Yaniv is disgusting, and I'm not a fan of her being used against a cause that I hold so very, very, very near and dear to my heart, because I think everyone deserves equal rights. And I don't want to see that taken away because of some creepy person like Jessica Yaniv. And I will see you later.